and welcome in. I am Miss Kinghorn and we are back here in another Twin Creek Zoo episode. This week we are finishing off the sort of quad that we have going on in the zoo. So if you haven't watched any more, what are you doing? Go and check those out in there. But we are basically building all of this so far around the large quad area, and then the rest of the zoo will be up these stairs and on sort of a top plateau-y, kind of a little bit more terrain work to go into there. But so far we've got obviously the entrance, we've got our dingo habitat and viewing area, we've got our restaurant, we've got the main staff area for the zoo, and the sort of exhibition animals, and well as a kangaroo and koala habitat. And this is the last one that we'll be getting up in this section, which is going to be for the wonderful platypus. Not built for one of these before, properly and sort of detailed. So this is going to be quite a fun little thing to do. I've got to be honest, we are taking again a lot of the sort of stuff from other builds in this area and kind of keeping it all very much the same and things like that as we go along. But what we're working on here at the moment is the sort of outside part to the sort of quad. So it's got these shaded walking areas in there, and then we also are going to have the indoor sort of section, like viewing area, for the underwater part of the platypus habitat. So lots of bits going on here. I have to be honest with you, when I recorded this, I was kind of a bit of a weird recording because I knew I wanted for the indoor part of the platypus, at the underwater section, and that's a bit I built first. And then I didn't really know what to do with the rest of the habitat, so I took a bit of a break, then came into the shop, an exit which we're going to see later on, and then I finally figure out what I want to do after maybe a 3-4 day break in recording. But so it is a bit of a weird one. We don't have a complete habitat, we kind of have a habitat kind of thing going on, which probably makes it a little bit of a weird viewing, but I hope you're going to stick with me and let me know what you think down in the comments down below. If you're kind of okay with it, if you don't like it and you want to see all of one thing, do let me know, because then we can see how that works in future videos. Right then, so we're using a lot of the same materials, a lot of this natural sort of soft woods coming through into here, and a lot of the same sort of beams, and look, each kind of build is individual, but they do have the same sort of architectural sort of style and look that we're going for, and I think that's fine for this zoo into here. Right, that is basically the width of there. So we're going to create, now that we've got the glass in, the sort of barrier to kind of give it a little bit more sort of definition in here when we get to how we want it. Now I had an image of an underwater viewing for some animal. I've got a feeling it was a crocodile or something like that, but don't quote me on that 100%. And they kind of had this like wooden sort of area. It had like small little screens on it, lots of information, education and stuff like that. Obviously I didn't do that, I just kind of went with the big screens because I had already planned out the billboards. I did them in all one go before we even started, so we don't have any little ones, but yeah, that was the image, and I kind of wanted to keep as much of that as I possibly could coming through into there. Now this video is very long, I have to be honest, and it was even longer. I had about, I think it's about 6 hours worth of footage So I have managed to cut, I had to cut a lot out. I've got to be fair, it wasn't necessarily some of my best work that got cut, but there is also lots of bits where I've done a small little section like you saw there with that small little fence. I showed you what I did and then I just copied and pasted it everywhere else, and you'll sort of see that as I go later on. Or where like I've done a roofing, I've done it in another video, and so I'm not showing you how I do it here because it's already been done. If you want to see how it's done, go check out the playlist. I will link that up in the top for you, and you can see that in there. But right, going on to this rock work. So as I say, in that image, it was kind of a nice big rock wall along the back which had lots of planting. It was kind of like half submerged, but I kind of went a little bit full submerged because of the land. In there, it had lots of plants, lots of rocks, lots of sort of swimming area in there for them as well. So that's something I really wanted to get in, but I wanted to look very kind of natural, kind of rock face coming into there as well. Now I'm using the aquatic rocks, the fake rocks. I'm not the biggest fan of them, I've got to be honest. They look okay, but yeah, I think they all look very samey. So I know obviously they're flexicolour, and that's one of the reasons why I've used them, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Do you use them? Do you like them? I'm not too much of a fan, but I will let you decide. In there, so yeah, lots of these rocks going in all over the place. And I was talking about the billboards earlier on. I keep forgetting to put them into the game. So I have them all, but I don't have them in game. The only ones I think that are currently in game are actually for the dingo, which is the very first one, and that's because I put them in before we even started. So I have got to go back through and get those sorted. They are, for each episode, they will be uploaded to my Discord as well, so you can download them all from there as well, so you can have them in your zoo as we go along. So if you are building a Australian zoo or a zoo with these animals in, they are all cohesive to the sort of style that we're building in here with all of our starting screens, our ending pages, things like that, all goes through the whole look of this zoo in there. Now going on to the planting, so we do kind of have like a fake bottom to this, so we've kind of got that plaster board coming in the bottom, which I think makes it quite nice because it's quite a dark kind of look for it. And then we've got all of the stones, and then obviously plants and things like that, so lots of these plants, all sort of underwatery kind of grasses and things like that, that we're going to get through, and then just slowly building all of this area up in here. Lots of different plants coming through, and then obviously some of the little grasses here, which I've got to be honest, the large one is quite small, so there is quite a few in here, but we make it all work in there. Right, so yeah, lots of plants coming through into here. So as I said earlier on, the next part of the zoo is going to be up the stairs and onto that sort of big plateau kind of that we created last week, so you can sort of just about see where that path is up there. It's going to be some of the remaining habitats up there, so that's going to be something we need to get in at some point. I've kind of got a rough plan. I had the whole zoo planned out, and then they released the grasslands pack, which was not what I was expecting. I've got to be honest, it was not the pack I was expecting, and therefore was not really prepared for, because I was kind of presuming they might do like a mountain kind of pack or a tiger pack. So kind of given the fact that it was just before Christmas as well, it would have been a perfect time to get one of those in, but no, they decided to give us grasslands and 2 Australian animals, so I've kind of had to change all of my plans, and so I think I've got it in an area where I'm happy with it, but we'll have to see how we go along into there. Right then, so this is where I kind of get bored And I couldn't figure out the rest of what I wanted for the rest of the habitat, so I ended up coming over this way and doing this little shop exit area. This does have some real actual shops in it, and then just a few little decorations here and there to kind of make it look a little bit more realistic into there. And I feel like whenever you go to somewhere, when you leave a base, you always sort of have to go through the gift shop because they want you to buy something and to get a bit more money in their banks. Right, again, I've cut out a lot of this. You've already seen it all, how we do it. A lot of copy and pasting, so that's going into there. Now, there is one thing I would really love in Planet Zoo, and that is a one-way path. Seems strange. All of the animals, all of the features, no, I want a one-way path. And that is simply so when you go to somewhere, you get your tickets, you go in a one-way system. You can't exit for the entrance, that just doesn't really make much sense, and you can't enter for the exit. So I kind of wanted something a little like that in here. So we have our entrance on the right-hand side of sort of the main circle that we started when we very first started, and now in here we are working on this part, which is going to be on the left hand side of that main quad, because I kind of wanted you to walk around in a sort of an anti-clockwise sort of system into there. Right, so there are 3 shops that we are going to get into here. So a nice little L. We're using the counters rather than the actual big shop boxes. I think they look a little bit more realistic, I've got to be fair. And then we just do some basic kind of decorations you can see here. Not a lot in here. Going in, so just some sort of shelving on the wall, and then a few little pots and stuff to go onto the top in there, just to make it a little bit better rather than just big stone walls into here. So using some of these Arctic festive boxes, sort of the gifts and things like that, lots of those going in the bottom. I feel like these are maybe something that you've ordered and like wanted gift wrapped and something like that. That's kind of my feeling behind it, I don't know. Or like click and collect or something, if that's even a thing for zoos, I don't know. But have some of those into here, and then on the top we get lots of sort of plant pots and things like that. We do have the area out the front here, which actually has like garden boxes and plants in boxes, so I kind of feel like maybe you can buy some plants here. Maybe not a full like garden centre, but there's certainly an opportunity to purchase some plants that are maybe native to this area as well in there, and then a few of these along the bottom as well, just to kind of fill that bottom row in. And we're just going to change some of the colours to make it look a little bit different here and there. And right then, and some more pots in there, more expensive pots on the top, shall we say. Shelf into here right then, and we've also got these moving statues in here, which came with the Australian pack, so there is only the 2. Sadly, I would have liked to have a few more sort of different statues, but there really isn't anymore. So we have the causeway and then the kangaroo, which do actually move and things are like that. So the platypus, which is the animal of the video, it is native to the eastern areas of Australia. The platypus is listed as being near threatened by the IUCN. They use their long snout to dig into the riverbeds looking for food. They can also catch their food while swimming, and they need to eat 20% of their own weight daily to survive, and they are one of the few species of venomous mammals. They have a spur on their hind foot that delivers a venom which is capable of causing severe pain to humans, which is obviously how they sting their prey. Okay, so we are back to this habitat. So as I said earlier on, I took a bit of a break after doing the shop because I really did not know how to do this top area, but I started off with a small little fence. The platypus are actually very small animals and can't climb. They can't really do anything. So it needed to be quite a small fence, but this is kind of more of a back fence. You can see off to the right hand side the sort of planting fence, as it were, boundary for this habitat. That kind of goes along the front with the viewing area, and this is more for the back area, but it gives a nice little break to all of that coming into here. So as again I said, I showed you a little bit of it but not the full work, and you can see it goes all the way around there, and then I decided to build a hard shelter for them. So I tried to create something a little bit more unique, rather than just like a square or rectangle or something like that. So I kind of created a diamond and then thought I need to have a door come into here somehow. So using the panels, kind of square off this little front section into there to give it kind of a little bit of a staff look kind of thing coming onto here. This changes and changes and changes as we go through it, because I don't know, I was never really happy with it. So yeah, lots of things changed, and that was it. I didn't particularly want to do a hide shelter kind of area for them because I didn't really think they needed one, but when I got them in here it turned out they did, so I had to do something in there. So I think the inside of this is looking okay given the fact they are quite small, but obviously the outside could do some more work, and before next week, the next video, it may well have done. Let's be fair. So I tried to add a little trim just to kind of create a little bit more of a different look coming to this, because it was all getting very sort of samey, but I don't know. You'll see it more in the screenshots because I changed the colour and I tried to change lots of little bits and pieces into there as well. So it's that light soft wood. Alright, and I thought we'd have some little sleeping pens in here. So we kind of have the two little areas into here. We have only two adults in here, and obviously we have got some space for some babies as well, but as yet we don't have any. I thought we'd make these little sort of hutches, kind of little private areas. I don't actually know if the animals can get round the back there, which I kind of think that they would kind of use that nice sort of sheltered area into there. And that front section, they can't actually get in. The gap is not big enough for them, even though it looks like it really should be. So I end up having to sort of change that front section here. I tried to get a little bit of enrichment in and some water and things like that in for them as well. Obviously they do have water outside as well, but I thought it would be a nice little touch in here so they can be shut in overnight and things like that. They've got a feeder, they've got a bit of enrichment, and they've got some water in there as well. This was a 9 meter roof. You can count yourselves all lucky that I am not showing you the full version of this roof. We do have a pitched roof coming onto here, but I'm just doing the plaster pieces as of now. Right, so you can see there I've done the roof. It didn't quite match, so I've put some of the panels onto the roof, and then I've run a strip of guttering actually through the gap in the middle, because although this is in Australia, it's in the grasslands, it doesn't rain too much, but when it does rain, does it pour? So I thought having some sort of guttering or water collection sort of system into there would probably be a good idea. So I've kind of added that in. You can sort of see there in places as well, and most of the other buildings actually do already have guttering or drainage of some sort in them as well, so I thought why not follow that through into there. So it's got that nice little building. It does also have the habitat gate, and the keepers can get out through the animal doors. I have put 2 sort of open doors in so that they can go in and shut them, and obviously to lock them in probably overnight or things like that as well into there. So I didn't want this to be completely flat up here, so I've kind of created a little bit of a sort of a hill kind of sort of section on here, and using some of these more aquatic rocks again, we have sort of added little terrain boulders in here too. So just to kind of break that all up a little bit, and then lots of sort of these piles of stones and rocks to go into here in different sort of shapes and half buried into the ground in there as well. And then you can see a nice big feeding sort of platform there, and we also have a little one. I think I get another little one at the back. Yeah, changing a little bit more of this up into here. And we get another feeder out here. So this isn't sort of viewable to the guests. This is kind of a very private area at the back here, where we have a lot of sort of more space, just to give them a little bit of privacy. They are very small, very timid little animals, so I thought having a nice little area that's just for them, that they can go and hide around the back here into there. Then you can see in the background there is the vet building and the quarantine for the zoo out here. I do need to kind of find a better way to put them rather than just lump them over there in the sort of bare shells into there. So we will do that at some point and kind of create some areas for that, maybe like a mini hospital or something, kind of building for them into there. But more terrain work, just trying to make everything as smooth as I possibly can. It is quite a steep sort of area, you can see in places going through here. But we are now onto the planting, so we've kind of got a few pieces of enrichment. So we've got the sort of water shooters sort of thing going into here. You've got some fish in an ice cube as well. Now these plants here are actually underwater plants, but they look so good that I thought, well, I might as well use them out here. I don't know, so obviously they wouldn't really survive in the real world, but in Planet Zoo everything survives, so that's what I thought for there. So lots of these red oat grasses coming in as well, and we also use the red version of those just to kind of create a little bit of difference and things like that coming through. Lots of sort of different colours. A lot of this is very deserty and very sort of grasslands kind of mix coming through. So a lot of rocks, a lot of these sort of grasses and sort of prickly little bushes. I'm not entirely sure what they're called, but they actually look really cool into there as well. So a few more grasses coming in the back here, and this habitat is slowly coming together quite well. But do let me know what you think, if you have any ideas, any suggestions, or maybe even a guess of what the next animal is going to be. Do let me know in the comments down below. We do have to finish off the back of this wall, so you can see just over the fence there is basically a flat straight line down to the ground, and essentially down to the path where the shop is. And down there, that's simply because I haven't come up with an idea or solution for how to hide that just yet. I'm thinking we could possibly do just a stone wall, but I really don't know. So any ideas, let me know, and we'll see what we come up with. So that is slowly coming to be, I think, the last little bits of planting coming in into here. So as I say, some of these more red plants coming through just to give it some more different colours and things like that. And I think that all works quite nicely. Another little tree into here, and we go back to our very first part of this. Now I purposely didn't do the roof for this building because I wanted to make sure that everything was okay inside once we had the animals in and things like that. So I purposely didn't do that. So we're going to finish this section off, and you can see there is the next bit of guttering to connect through as well into there. And this is a very basic, simple little roof that we get into here as well, very much like what we have done in the past as well, but we need to go up probably another layer, I think, of these panelled walls just to give it a little bit of height on the inside as well. I have done the lighting inside as well. So there is a strip of lighting along the viewing area, and then there is also a strip of lighting inside on the other side as well, so that is all nicely lit up so that everything can be seen in there as well. So just getting this all done. I did accidentally forget to record how I did the roof to the shop. You'll be able to see it in the cinematics and the screenshots, but yeah, I don't have the actual footage for that, which is a bit of a shame, but again, it's very, very simple, and something that we've worked on before as well. So coming along here, and then we're just going to add a little bit of glass just to give a little bit of natural light coming into this water area as well from the top into here, running that all the way along to there, and it doesn't quite fit. I'm trying to get a little one in, but in the end we just use some more little panel pieces and kind of get those to work in here as well, so that it doesn't look quite so bad. And then more wood all the way through, and this is on the top. Now this is the bit that is clipping in with the roof, so this may actually go eventually. I kind of thought we'll probably keep it, but I don't know. You'll see when we do the actual roofing that it does clip through into there. So you can see I have done one side of it, but I have actually done all four sides when it comes to using it here. So we have this little area here, and you can see there is the clipping into there with that roof. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. I can't really get rid of it without changing too much in with the sort of roof section, so you just kind of have that little strip of wood coming along through there. Right, so we are coming up to the end of this video, so if you have liked it and enjoyed this video, then please give it a big thumbs up down below and leave a comment as well, and tell me what is your favourite part. But for now, I will be back in 2 weeks time with another habitat build for you. But you can follow me, subscribe here on YouTube. You can also follow me over on Twitch, where I'm at misskinghorn builds. You can also join me over on Twitter, where I'm at misskinghorn, the same as Hive. Or you can even join my Discord, which is the MKB Build Center. All of the links to those are down in the description below, so make sure to check those out. And if you remember to ring that bell, then you'll know exactly when I upload a new video as well into there. But for now, I will leave you with these wonderful little cinematic shots in here as well, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks for the next part. But until then, alright, bye everyone!